guys, and welcome to my video. I don't typically do these sit down videos, so I feel a little out of my comfort zone right now. I'm excited to be making this video today. I am gonna start off by saying thank you to all my new subscribers. I have actually gained 8 new subscribers in the past 3 days, which I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I have had only 21 for over a year now, and the fact that I just gained 8 subscribers within 3 days is completely amazing to me and such a milestone, so I feel just really happy. So I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you to all my old subscribers who have been here for a while now. I really do appreciate it. I hope to gain more. Hopefully I have a goal to hopefully hit 50 by May, so let's see if it happens. I truly hope it does. So I just wanted to start off by saying thank you. Yeah, so let's get into it. You can tell already from the title of this video, I'm gonna kind of talk about pretty much like my experience with solo traveling and why I think it's such a great idea for almost everyone to do at least once in their lifetime. I've had this video idea for a while now. It's something I feel very passionate about because it honestly changed my life way more than I thought it ever would, and it was such a dream come true. I live in California now, and I actually just had my 3-year anniversary since moving here, and honestly it's so crazy to think about because it still doesn't feel real. It still feels like a dream of mine, and it's just crazy that I've been here for 3 years now, and I honestly would have never met the love of my life, been able to live here and have the life I have now if I wouldn't have took my first solo trip. So yeah, I'll just kind of get into it, and there's a lot of information involved in the whole story and everything, so I'll try to be as quick as possible. If anyone does watch, and if they have any questions or you want any more information based on the topic or anything, just feel free to reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to make another video. So yeah. So to start, it was back in 2019. I personally have always dreamed of coming to California to visit. Also, I'd never really traveled outside of state besides like driving distance, like to Ohio because I'm from Michigan, or you know, we went to Chicago for a weekend with my mom and sister. But other than that, I've never been like outside of state. I've never been on a plane. I have really bad anxiety, so being like you know, away from my comfort of my sister or my mom, or having to do things that I'm not very comfortable with, it terrified me. I kind of had a falling out with my group of friends that I hung out with. I mean, it wasn't like a bad situation or anything. Like, we're fine now. We don't really talk anymore, but you know, that whole situation kind of had an effect on me where I took the time to myself, where I just wanted to focus on myself. And within that time, something hit me where I'm like, you know what, I want to change. So within like a month, I decided to plan my own trip to California. I didn't tell my mom about it or anyone. I just did it myself. I planned it myself. I saved up the money. I booked a plane ticket, which I had never been on a plane, so I had no idea what I was even doing. But I figured it out. I watched lots of YouTube videos, did lots of research. I recommend if you want to take a solo trip, definitely do all the research you can. If you've never been on a plane or booked a hotel yourself, I definitely recommend researching a lot beforehand and asking around like for people who have, just to kind of know like the best places or the best way to do it. I mean, I didn't ask anyone, but I did lots of research. Yeah, so I ended up booking my hotel. I paid up front, so I didn't have to like stress about making sure I had the funds the day of the trip, because there's already a lot of stress on that. So I wanted to make sure, you know, none of that got messed up. And then I booked a plane, which terrified me because I'd never been on a plane. In my head, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but let's just do it. Which is also why I didn't tell anyone about it at first, because part of me was like, okay, I could book all this, but what if I'm too scared to go through with it? I don't want people to be like, I told you so. Figuring out like my location, that was a little difficult because I'd never been to California and I didn't know the best places to go or anything. I knew I didn't want to go to LA. I wanted the ocean. I've never seen the ocean, so that's something I definitely recommended when it came to looking where to stay. But a lot that popped up, especially on Pinterest, was San Diego was the best for ocean and also having like a downtown, because I wanted to be around kind of people so I didn't feel stuck. And I also planned to take a Lyft everywhere. So I needed to have that convenience. So San Diego, I did lots of research on that. I found a hotel right on the downtown Gaslamp corner. It was perfect because it was around all the shops and a lot of that. And there's a lot of different places you can go, like Balboa Park, the zoo. There was a lot to see there. So I was like, this is perfect. There's a lot of things in walking distance. It's easy for lifts. and the beach is only like 15-20 minutes away. So if you're planning a solo trip, definitely do all the research on the location. Definitely find things that you want to see and make sure that they are able to accommodate that. Figure out like how you want to for like transportation, like are you planning to rent a car, take, you know, public transportation, walk, bike. So just make sure you get all that figured out. And then after all that was done, I had everything booked and ready to go. And then 2 weeks before going, I finally told my mom and sister. Family didn't really believe that I was actually going to go. They knew I was very scared and had very bad anxiety. So they're like, yeah, you're not going to do it. It's okay if you don't. It's fine. And I told her, I'm like, no, it's already booked. I showed my mom. She still kind of didn't believe it. She was like, I don't know if you're gonna go, like you have this all planned, but I mean, good for you if you do, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So I just kind of let that kind of motivate me to actually go through with it. So if you are in the same situation where you're afraid of traveling, you have bad anxiety, but you want this change to kind of better yourself or just whatever you may be going through in life, sometimes like using that negativity or people kind of like pushing you down that you won't do it, kind of use that as a motivation to be like, you know what, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to do this. And that's kind of what I did, even though I was so terrified. I'm like, maybe they're right. I was like, you know what, no, I'm just going to do this. I planned this. This is my dream. I've had this dream since I was a kid. Let's just do it. I had a flight at, I remember it was like 6 a.m. in the morning. And I remember the night before I packed everything, so I was prepared to go. I honestly could not sleep. My aunt finally knew about it and she was proud of me, and she helped me to with the plane. She's been on a plane before, so she's like, here, let's print out your boarding pass just to be on the safe side. So she stayed up with me all night so I can go and use her printer. So I also recommend, like, if you're going on a plane for the first time, looking up how the airport works. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on what to do because personally I was afraid of the security service, because I know like check-in, like there's a lot you have to do and it's so chaotic. There's a lot of people, so that made me very like have a lot of anxiety, because you know, big crowds are actually one of the things that give me the most anxiety. So being in a big crowd in a situation that I've never been in, I have no idea where I'm going or what I'm doing, and doing it by myself, that's what terrified me the most. Honestly, after doing the research, watching YouTube videos, and actually doing it, honestly, it was a lot easier than I thought. I definitely recommend trying to get to the airport at least 2 hours early if they haven't already mentioned like it's going to be, you know, a busy airport day. So I definitely recommend that to kind of give yourself that extra breathing room that you're going to get through on time. Nothing's worse than like showing up like 40 minutes before your flight thinking everything's good, and then the security check-in is like out the door, because that is not the way to go. I recommend, like, if you're on a plane and you're afraid of flying, definitely chewing gum. I took Dramamine. Dramamine definitely helps with, you know, air sickness, but also it makes you drowsy, so you kind of feel a little relaxed and you can sleep through most of it, which my flight was a straight through flight, thankfully, for my first flight, and it was like 4.5 hours. So yeah, I slept through most of it with the Dramamine, which really helped. Making sure you download like your music playlist or videos on Netflix or Hulu beforehand, because most flights don't have Wi-Fi. Definitely make sure you download a few playlists, a few videos, podcasts maybe, or bring like a book or magazine, you know, something to kind of distract you through that flight. Once you're on there, I know it will probably be nerve-wracking, especially if there is turbulence on the flight. One thing I have learned, I've watched from a few people in different videos say it, and then from like people I know who have been on flights, is like, if you are afraid of turbulence, just think that these like flight attendants, this is their job, and they're on flights like all day, every day, just about. If it was such like a super dangerous thing and the turbulence was so bad, they probably wouldn't want that job anymore, to be honest. And plus, if there is bad turbulence, kind of look to your like flight attendants to see if they're kind of nervous, because if they're not nervous, then you have no reason to be, then it's just normal. And that really helped me, because I had bad turbulence during my first flight. I'd see the lady flight attendant who'd walk by and she's smiling, she doesn't look nervous one bit, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, if she's not nervous, then everything's fine. Once you get off the flight, let me tell you, after I got off the flight, I felt so powerful. I don't know how to express this enough, because once again, this has always been the biggest fear of mine was flying. And the fact that when I got off that flight, and not only knowing that I made it to California by myself, But knowing that I went on that flight by myself and facing one of my biggest fears all by myself, that felt like the most powerful moment in my life. I felt like a whole new woman. When I got off the plane, I seen a palm tree for the very first time. And that was like a big moment to me, that the first palm tree I seen outside the San Diego airport, I literally ran up to it and I kind of hugged it and cried. It sounds so stupid, but I literally, like, I feel like I keep saying literally a lot, but it literally just felt like the best moment in my life, because I just felt like I conquered all like my biggest fears and also conquered like a big dream of mine that I've had since I was a little kid. So if you are looking to go on that solo trip, especially if like it's something you've never done before and it's definitely outside your comfort zone, I definitely recommend it, because I feel like it definitely gives you the strength inside you that you didn't know you had, and it just makes you feel like a more independent, like just powerful person. Like I was there for like 4 days. Those whole 4 days, I just felt like I was kind of on like cloud nine. Like it didn't feel real. I got an Uber to my hotel, which was pretty good. When I got to my hotel, I didn't get like a super expensive one, but it was small. But it was really nice for it just being me. Yeah, I felt so just independent. Like I know I've said that a lot, and yeah, my whole trip, I mean, if you want to hear more of like my whole experience going there, I could definitely make another video about that, because that's a whole nother story. I actually met my boyfriend now during that trip, which is a whole crazy movie-like story as it is. And now I live with him for the past 3 years here in California, so that's just mind-blowing to even think about. Like I met the most amazing person in the world on this trip that I was at for 4 days. But yeah, I could definitely make that in another video some other time. So that's kind of like my brief experience. It definitely, when I went home after my trip, it definitely felt like I could do anything. I had this weird like motivation where I wanted to travel more now. I felt like I could do anything. Yeah, I honestly just feel like that trip changed my whole life. I mean, it kind of did, because now I live in a whole nother state. If I wouldn't have went on that trip, I wouldn't probably have the confidence that I have now. I probably wouldn't have, I honestly know I would have never met my boyfriend. That's for a fact. You know, experiencing something new might change your life forever. I know it did for me. Yeah, so if anyone is out there who is looking to, you know, go on a solo trip, I don't know anyone who is watching, if that's something they're wanting to do. But also, if you clicked the video, you're probably here for that reason, and that is something you're wanting to do. And if that is something you're wanting to do, I say go for it. Obviously, take all like, you know, precautions. Make sure you're like in a safe area, have everything so you are as safe as possible. Do all your research, make sure you have everything figured out beforehand, and you know, try not to wait last minute to do anything. If you are looking to like start with steps on doing that, I recommend like start going on like dates by yourself. I started doing that a lot. Even just going out to restaurants by yourself, walking around the mall, you know, just going for walks by yourself. That makes a huge difference, because you are having to spend your time with yourself, have to deal with everything yourself. You don't have like a comfort of another person to speak for you, make your choices for you. But going on dates by yourself is definitely a go-to on, you know, finding yourself. Before I close out this video, I just kind of wanted to mention a few like tips like for your first like solo trip. Bring like the portable phone chargers. I actually brought two. I brought one that I had previously, and then I bought a new one when I got to the airport, which I don't recommend buying it at the airport. It's kind of expensive, because at least with those, if you charge both of them, you can bring both of those with you. So just in case you're out and you're by yourself, you know, you're going to take lots of photos and videos probably, and your phone might die, and you might need that obviously to use your maps to get around or order a Lyft or Uber. You're going to need your phone. Also, like if you are solo traveling, obviously you're probably going to want, you know, some selfies or photos in front of different places, because obviously you are probably traveling somewhere new and you want to have those photos. What I did, if I was in a certain spot where I can like prop up with my phone, I would prop it up and I would stand in front of wherever I want to get my photo in front of, and then I would just put on a video, and then I would just stand it, kind of do a few poses, and then when the time came, I would just crop photos or screenshot the photos. Also, a thing that me and my boyfriend do now, I didn't do it at the time because I never thought about it. I would always search out for those couples who are looking to get their photo taken, who might want it, or those families. So we'll go and ask them like, hey, can you please take our photo? And if you do, we'll take one for you guys. And most people will say yes. I mean, I can't guarantee everyone will, but I personally never had someone say no. Or you can always just go up and ask like any random person. I definitely recommend, you know, kind of like feeling the energy, like do they seem safe? Do they seem okay? Because you don't want to just go up to some random stranger and you might put yourself in a dangerous situation. So just kind of read how you feel. That's what I definitely recommend if you are trying to get photos taken while you're on your trip, because I know it can be very difficult when you are solo. All right, so that's all for the video. It probably ended up being a lot longer than I was anticipating, but once again, I feel like I left a lot out. I can definitely make another video based on my actual experience of everything I did on my trip. And I could also make a video on how I met my boyfriend on my trip, because that's honestly one of my favorite stories to tell. So I'm more than happy to share that with you guys if you are interested. And if you did watch this, thank you so much for watching. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna be my mom watching. But if you guys watched, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it if you'd like. I'm planning to try to make 1 to 2 videos a week now. I'm trying to be more consistent. Usually I like to do a lot of like vlogs, but you know, I have like some like travel stories. I've been to a few places now, so if you want to hear about some of the places I've been, I have a Hawaii trip coming up. I'm excited to have you guys part of my adventures. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.